boys? Welcome back. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Straight up. Because that's what I do on this platform. I come on here with the intent to share my journey, to document what I do, to hold myself to a higher standard and to become the best version of myself in hopes that it inspires at least one of you to do the same. And the only way I can do that is if I'm completely honest with you guys. And if I'm truly authentic in who I am. You know, I don't put a mask up in any of my videos. I don't hide anything. I show you guys everything. From the morning routine videos, I've shown you what I write in my journal, what I do step by step from the minute I wake up to ensure that I set my day up for success so that you guys can do the same and start living with intention. Because so many of you guys are lost. So many of you guys are lost. So many of you guys don't know what you're doing. So many of you guys are trapped in the comfort that is keeping you mediocre. Just like I was. Because prior to 2024, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I thought I wanted it. I really thought I did. I thought I wanted success. But the truth was, I only liked the idea of it. I only liked the idea of it. And that is the same position that a lot of you guys are in. You might be in that position, brother. And if you are, you've come across the right channel, because that is exactly what I discuss. I used to be in that void. I used to be in that era of my life. And while I'm nowhere near as successful as I want to be, I've broken the trap. I've broken the cycle of despair. The cycle that keeps you living every single day on repeat. The cycle that keeps you in the comfort. So you never actually get to live out the potential you have, which is done through sacrifice. But back on the topic. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. In these videos, and I don't know how many of you guys watching this right now have been subscribed to me from, I guess you could say, the beginning. But technically this is really the beginning. But I mean, like, when I first started making videos on here. And you know what, as a matter of fact, if one of you guys is watching this who has been here from the start, let me know in the comments. Thought I saw something. And any of you guys who are new, let me know. Guys, I'm nowhere near a big successful channel. I read every single comment. I reply to you guys. It makes my day. This is what I do this for. When I see comments from you guys telling me that the words I've said have changed the way you thought about something, have helped you, have inspired you, have motivated you, I love that. That's why I continue to post every single day. Genuinely. But back to the topic. In these videos, guys, I may appear to be some perfect being who has unlimited motivation, who wakes up every single day without struggle, who crushes it. Because that's what I portray. That's what I tend to portray on here in my short form and my long form. Someone who just crushes it, who has flowing momentum and motivation. If that's what it appears to be, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, that's nowhere near what the reality is. Okay, I'm just like you. I wake up with not an ounce of motivation in my body 99% of the time. I do. And so I'm not trying to come on here and act like I'm someone that is just, nailing it day after day. I'm not trying to make this complicated. I'm not trying to portray a perfect being. I'm just gonna put it that way. I don't need to make it more complicated than it is. Because I'm not. And the truth is, guys, I've been struggling lately as well. I've been struggling just as we all have. And I've been struggling with consistency in particular. I've been struggling with consistency. In the content, the posting on Instagram too. And it's just not how I set out for this to be. I've been posting, but I haven't been as consistent as I want to be, as I set the standard for myself to be, and as I was in the beginning. And this was more so last week and the week prior, but this week I've really locked back in. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. I'm posting stories for you guys every single day showing exactly what I'm doing, so you guys can see that the proof that I am holding myself to a higher standard. Because I want to be the I guess you could say role model, but more so just the example of what someone who consistently follows through with their word looks like. And I can't do that if I'm not showing you guys proof. That's why I post on Instagram. To motivate you guys, to hold myself accountable, and to document what it looks like when you hold yourself to a higher standard. That's what I do. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, lately, the consistency I've been lacking on. Now, it hasn't been days where I don't post at all. But the volume and the frequency in which I'm doing so, not really the quality. I feel like my quality is always there. That's what I strive for pretty much every time. Quality over quantity. But lately, the quantity has been dropping below my standards. And I'm going to fix that. And I have fixed that in the past week. And it's going to stay fixed. Mark my words. But what I realized is the reason I was lacking in consistency lately, because guys, I'm not someone who doesn't struggle with these things either. I may come on here and provide as much life advice as I can for you guys, even though what I know is so little. I try to give you guys advice based on my experiences. What has changed in my life after waking up at 3 a.m. every single day for a year plus, going outside and doing push-ups in the cold weather, taking a cold shower, journaling, and taking action on the non-negotiables and on the needle movers every single day. Because in January of 2024, I became absolutely sick with my habits. My habits were not in order. And that is the problem with a lot of you guys. Because I was in the position where every single day felt like I was going backwards. So I know what it feels like. But now, every single day, I feel like I'm getting better. And the fruits of my labor are paying off. I see my physique getting better. Even though I'm very, very new to fitness, I have genuinely seen improvements. I bought one of my dream cars at 19 years old. So, and it hasn't even been a full year. But that's what happens when you start holding yourself to a higher standard, and when you get your habits in check. When you get your habits in check, that is the most simple thing you can do. You may be walking around every single day with no non-negotiables, with no structure, with no system. And I'm telling you right now, if you're doing that, you're not going to end up where you want to go. Imagine a captain of a ship, and I've used this analogy before, setting sail to get to a destination in a vast ocean. And he knows the name of the place he's trying to go. But he doesn't have the map. And he sets sail with his crew and he's like, let's just start floating and hopefully we get there. Is he going to get there as fast as if he had an exact map telling him where to go? If he even gets there at all? You need the map, you need the structure, you need the system, and that all starts with the foundation, which is the habits. What are you doing every single day to hold yourself to a higher standard? This is how you propel past your competition. You need to make the sacrifices that other people aren't willing to. It's so simple. If you want to get to a rare position in life, you need to do things that 99% of people don't do. Your habits need to be of those that 99% of people don't do. That's literally how you put yourself in that position. But anyways, as I was saying, lately I've been struggling with consistency myself. And it was because I forgot why I started this in the first place. That's the reason why. Because I'm very good at self-analyzing and figuring out where something's going wrong and putting it back in check. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, why do I feel like I'm going backwards? This is not something I felt in a while. Because, I've been posting content and I've been getting engagement from you guys and it's been just fucking awesome. And the reason I've been able to be consistent for so long is because I understood going into this from mentors and from people online that have been on the same journey as me and that are farther along and more successful. I've understood that in order to be successful, I needed to, specifically with content, is the context here. I needed to, one, do my absolute best to provide advice to you guys that you can change your life with in every single video. There's no fluff in any of my videos. That's one thing I knew I needed to do. And the only way I can do that is if I'm being authentic. And to be authentic, I need to be true to my word. If I'm telling you guys to wake up early every morning, I need to be doing it. That's the only way my words will have any meaning, any value, because there's so many frauds out here in the self-improvement space. In one of my videos the other day, some guy in the comments section, I think it was one of the shorts, he was like, oh, another mentor. And I don't blame him. This space has been so just infected with frauds. People that are trying to provide advice and mentorship, essentially, to others who don't actually live out what they say others should be doing. They don't actually practice what they preach. And that was the one thing I knew that I couldn't do. And that's what I've been consistent with. Practicing what I preach. But as I was saying, the reason I've started lacking in consistency lately was because I forgot why I started this journey in the first place. I'd wake up and I'd be like, man, this is hard. But before I move on, let me just say, back to the content stuff. Because this is another good point. I understood that in order to be successful in this, I needed to be able to stay consistent for a long period of time without seeing immediate results before I see any success, any bit of rewarding output. Because that's how life works. It's not realistic to do a little bit of work and then get rewarded. It's not. You have to be able to put in a lot of effort and not see immediate results. And if you can do that for a long period of time, you're going to win. So I understood that. And so I've been able to be consistent with the content and showing this journey to you guys and trying to change you guys' life, just as I had for myself. And I understood that it wasn't going to be easy. I might not get any views on my videos, and I still hardly get any views. But I've seen growth. I mean, this YouTube channel, as of this video, I think we're at like 80 subscribers. And that's nothing. That's nothing. But in the beginning, you know, I would post a lot of videos, maybe, you know, post for a whole week and not even gain 1 to 2 subs. Because my content just wasn't getting out there yet. But I didn't give up. I understood that this was the roadblock I needed to conquer. I saw that roadblock as an obstacle. I worded that wrong. I saw that roadblock, that obstacle, not as a problem, but as an opportunity. I understood that I needed to get past it to see that fruits of my labor pay off. I understood that that was a stepping stone. That obstacle was a stepping stone for me to see my results. And so that's what I was able to do. And so I've been able to post the content consistently for you guys, because that's what I strive to do. I want to show up for you guys. But as of lately, I've just been like, you know, man, I'm doing the same thing every day. I'm staying consistent, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't have that fire that I had in the beginning. Why did it fade? And I remembered why I started this journey in the first place, because that's what I forgot. And it's simply that I was waiting for the motivation to be there to take action. I don't feel motivated today, man. I'll just get it tomorrow. And that's where a lot of you guys are at. And I realized the whole point of all of this from the beginning isn't to take action when you feel motivated. It's to take action regardless of how you feel. If you guys wake up early in the morning because you want to be the first one up, that's one of the reasons I do it. I have to beat everyone as much as possible, because I want to be a rare individual, meaning I have to do things that most other people aren't willing to do. That's why I get up so early. I have to be the first one up. It's just how I think now. And trust me, I hate waking up early. My whole life, I'm 19 years old now, my whole life, up until last year, I would sleep until 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. Like, it was extreme. I'm a complete night owl. I literally had to, all this whole, I'm a night person, it's just fucking bullshit. It's the habits that you've trained yourself to do over time. And I've completely changed the person I am. Now, is it probably easier for some people to wake up earlier than others? Sure. Is one person going to be able to wake up at 3 a.m. over a longer period of time easier than another person? Sure. But everyone at some point is not going to be motivated to do it. And I understood that it was a difficult thing, specifically for me. 99% of you, it's going to be a hard thing to do. Maybe there's 1% of you out there that don't struggle at all with waking up that early. And if that's so, that may not be the thing you need to do. That may not be the habit you need to set in place to hold you to a higher standard. But for me, it was something that was extremely difficult. It was something that was uncomfortable, and it was something that I did not want to do. That's why I did it. It's not about doing things when you're motivated. That's what I forgot. When I don't feel motivated, when all I want to do is lay back in the bed, when I don't feel like posting that day, that is the cue to do it. That's the reason I started this whole journey, was because I was too comfortable. And I needed to start pushing myself to do things that I don't want to do. And the reason a lot of you guys, maybe even you watching this right now, brother, the reason you're not where you want to be is simply because you're too trapped in your comfort. If you're comfortable every single day where you are, you probably want to get a better physique. You want to look better. You want to look more attractive. You probably want more money. You want to become a more rare individual. Otherwise, I don't know why you're even watching this video this far. You're someone that wants more in life. You want to experience the finer things in life. You want to become a top individual. And if you want to become a top individual, it means that you're going to have to embrace sacrifice. Most of you guys want those things. You want those better things in life. You want to become better. But do you really want it, or do you just like the idea of it? Because if you really wanted it, you would do the sacrifices and you would do the things, regardless of how you feel, to get there. Andrew Tate had a perfect analogy. I'm not going to be able to quote it exactly how he did, but he said something along the lines of, if you lay down on a hot set of lava rocks, of stones, and it's burning your back, you're going to move. You're going to move because you're uncomfortable. You're like, I can't do that. It's uncomfortable. You don't want to be in that position. So most of you just like the idea of being rich, of being successful, of being ripped, of being rare. Because you think in your head, yeah, I like those things. But when it comes to wake up next day, you don't actually do the things that are required to get you there. Meaning, you're not uncomfortable enough. You're comfortable in your position. Because if you truly weren't, you would move. You would force yourself to become better. That's the pain threshold. When the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, that's when an individual changes. And that is what I realized in January of last year. And that's when I said, fuck this. I'm way too comfortable. I'm going to start waking up. Back then it was 5 a.m. I was like, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'm going to take a cold shower. I don't care how cold it is outside, what the weather is. I'm going to do these things. And I've been doing them since. And I've been documenting it, journaling it every single day, so I can look back and see where I was a year ago. And I post the push-ups on my Instagram story every single day, so you guys can see. So you guys can do the same. So you guys can tag me, and I can actually see how many of you guys I've made a difference in. But the moral of the story is, guys, I forgot lately why I started this journey in the first place. Because lately I've been, I really don't have the motivation I used to have. I know what I have to do, and I know I can make myself do it, but man, I'm just not as motivated. And I told myself in the moment, I was like, what are you doing? It doesn't matter if you're motivated or not. Do you want it? You're not always going to be motivated. The motivation isn't the cue to do it. Why would you feel motivated if your frequency is at 0? When you wake up in the morning, you would be lucky if you feel motivated to get up. That would literally be luck. You shouldn't wait for the motivation to be the cue to get up out of bed and get after it. You would be lucky if you were motivated to get up, because you're not supposed to have motivation when you're laying in your bed, when your alarm goes off. Your frequency is at 0. You've done nothing. You have to take action for the motivation to come. And that's how you create momentum. And momentum is the state that you get into when you feel the most motivation. And when you have momentum, you get in the flow state, blah, 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 those things. That's when you have your most productive days. But the ball won't start rolling down the hill unless you push it. It's just the laws of the universe. Something's not going to move unless there's a force acted upon it. You guys aren't going to feel motivated. You're not going to see results in your life unless you push yourself, unless you take action on it, unless you get out of bed. It's insane that we have to say these things out loud. It should seem so common sense. But for some of you guys, it just really isn't. And for me, it certainly wasn't either. But I realized what I was doing wrong, and I decided that I was going to change. I decided that I was going to be a winner. You guys can truly have anything you want in this life. Anything you want. You can do anything you want. I'm 19 years old. Barely any life experience, and I've already learned this. I can't wait to see where I am 6 years from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. My journey is just beginning, and your journey is just beginning. You could be great. You could be ripped. You could be rich. You could be rare. You could have the family you want. That's not even the stage I'm at yet. You could have location and time freedom. You could live wherever you want, do whatever you want. Be someone that other people respect. Feel confident everywhere you go. When you walk in a room, know that you're a winner. Know that you have value. Know that every time you open your mouth to talk, you're not covering up for something. You're just being who you are. You're being authentic. And your words are valuable and people listen. You can be this individual. But you have to choose to. And most of you don't want it. You just like the idea of it. So before this video ends, I want you to ask yourself one question, brother. Do I really want to become the best version of myself? Or do I just like the idea of it? Get after it, brother. I believe in you.